So there's been a thing going around in my head for a bit, and it's something that I've kind of thought it would be kind of interesting to do as a video. And that is talking about the age-old question, Marvel or DC. Now, let me preference, I love both. I love both Marvel and DC equally. They both give something different to me as a person. But the thing is that sometimes my enjoyment of Marvel and DC kind of shifts every so often. Sometimes, and that's just kind of the business, right? Like that's whether it be like new business or new editors come in, or new management takes over, or a new creative team, or editor in chief takes over, and things dynamically shift. So it's always that. It's all like that's what I think I need to preference, is that it's always a shifting love of who I enjoy more. And I gotta be honest, right as of right now, as to what's going on right now, I think DC is just kind of better right now. Now, it may come as a shock because I have been doing a lot of Marvel comic reviews. Chris has been very, as always, Chris has been sending me comics, and I've had a small stockpile of Marvel I've been getting through. In fact, you may or may not today or tomorrow see another Marvel comic review, depending on if I finish the book today or not. But for the reason why is because I'm stockpiling the DC books because I don't want to run out of them too fast. That was the thing, is that you were probably seeing a lot more DC reviews for a while because I was enjoying more of DC. I'm stockpiling it right now, so I'll have a solid pile of DC books to come back to. And I keep trying to go back. I keep wanting to read them, but it's no, Multi. You have to save these. And it may shock you, but I there in my collection there's more Marvel than DC. And there is a reason for that, because I grew up starting off with Marvel. That was the thing. It was Marvel, and of course Hulk is my favorite Marvel superhero. Maybe some days he's my favorite superhero of all time, but I don't really think of that. I think of favorite Marvel and favorite DC superhero. Favorite Marvel superhero, it's Hulk. Favorite DC superhero, it's Superman. So it varies. It really does vary, on any given day. And that's the thing. It varies. There was a time where I just hated DC comics. I just did not want to read them. I didn't want anything to do with them. And you know what era I'm talking about. It's New 52. It's the New 52 era that I didn't like it. I don't think anyone really liked it outside of Scott Snyder's Batman and maybe a few titles here and there. But there was nothing appealing about that era, the 52 era, and I hated it. I just hated it. And I'm sure a lot of other people hated it too. That's why, for a time, Marvel was kind of up there with Marvel's doing all the right things, or all the right moves. And then that shifted. There was a power shift. And I've seen more, DC was slowly putting itself back together during the Rebirth era, and Marvel was doing way too much, way too soon with All New, All Different, because, they just didn't want to have X-Men and Fantastic Four because, Ike Perlmutter was a piece of shit. And I, as much as I think there were some really good things in All New, All Different, but that era, that era of comics, I think wanted to do something different without, giving a good story of why things are different. I mean, Jason Aaron's Jane Foster Thor, awesome. There was, Laura Kinney, All New Wolverine, that was really good. There was, but a lot of those books, a lot of those comics just did not have, they wanted to tell themes and whatnot, but they just did not have the right people to tell those messages. So I feel that was kind of you did All New, All Different, but it didn't feel like that. It felt more like you just wanted to be mean-spirited to certain titles. So, yeah. And then DC over there was doing, Rebirth at the time. They were rebuilt. It was basically a rebuild period, and that's what really got a lot of people interested. I mean, you had Tom King's Batman, the first 4 volumes. Let's be real. As much as I love Tom King as a writer, and I defend War of Jokes and Riddles. I full-heartedly depend. I know people say after it's only the first 3 volumes, Like the I Am saga is the best part of Tom King. Everything else is shit. I always argue the cutoff point for me is War of Jokes and Riddles. Lead everything with the wedding and everything else, because I feel like DC really dropped the ball, and even Tom King has brought this up too, is that he basically said, I'm not going to have them married. Don't make this an event. And DC was like, Dan the dickhead over here was like, no, we're going to make it like a whole thing, and we're going to hype up expectations, and then you can just come in and stab everyone in the heart. And King, apparently, according to the interview I was watching, it was on Comic Pop, he said, I am going to be hated for a while because this is something I didn't want to do. So that's what I'm saying. And now, it's not that Marvel is bad. It's not, right now, Marvel is not bad. A lot of the books I'm enjoying, like Immortal Thor, Incredible Hulk. I'm enjoying, a lot of Jed MacKay's work. Obviously, Moon Knight. A lot of Jed MacKay's work on a whole, I really enjoy. I also have, there's some solid titles, but I also feel like there's just more, I'm getting more enjoyment out of reading a DC book these days. I feel like there's a lot more creative freedom at DC. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I've read a DC book, and I'm not saying just Tom King books, I'm saying like, a lot of the other comics, like Kelly Thompson's, I don't know what that sound is. I'm sorry if the mic's picking that up, but there is a lot of like genuine like love for these characters. Mark Waid clearly loves writing DC more than Marvel. It's obvious. Even when he was at the All New, All Different and doing Avengers, it's very clear, because again, he got burned by DiDio and the heads at DC and went to Marvel, and then he came back. And it's very obvious Mark Waid has a love and affection for the DC universe more than Marvel. You can clearly see in his writing that Mark Waid really loves these characters more. Even though, yes, I know he enjoyed Spider-Man and other characters and things like that, but you clearly see the tone, the creative change. Because some of the time when I was reading Mark Waid was at All New, All Different with Avengers and even his Indestructible Hulk run, I was like, does he even like doing this? Does he like even writing these right now? Like, that's the thing. I was just kind of reading it and I was just like, does he even like doing this? Is this even the same Mark Waid? Yeah, that's what it felt like half the damn time. And yeah, it's kind of the thing here where it's like I'm liking some stuff, a lot of the stuff from Marvel, but at the same time, I just kind of feel like I'm getting more of a enjoyment, because like with Marvel, there just feels like there's this aura of make things status quo immediately, like constantly go back, no matter how big these changes get. And you can keep some of those changes if the fans like them, but like like Steve Orlando's Scarlet Witch, he's been doing a lot of heavy lifting of fixing that character. You also have some other writers and titles out there that I think are really solid, but there just feels like there's more of a mandate to not rock the boat at Marvel. That's what it really feels like, that there isn't really like some major power, like there isn't like a major power shift every time. Where at DC with All In and before that Dawn of DC, it's very clear that they really, and they really want to have synergy and have energy to those characters. They want to have these massive reader, like look at Absolute. I mean, yeah, it does kind of like rip off Ultimate Universe, and I think also Ultimate Universe is another has a lot of solid titles, Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man. I haven't read Ultimate X-Men. I only read one volume of Ultimate Black Panther, and I'm waiting for trade on Ultimate Wolverine, and I really do dig a lot of the Ultimate Universe, but from what I understand, Absolute is just absolutely crushing it. Again, I'm waiting for trade on the Absolute universe. But, yeah. It's like DC is doing something better. Like, DC creatively is having more freedom to do these. And I think it's because, like, you have the current... And I think it's because of current... I almost said an administration. I'd be like, the current administration would have a conniption over this. I would say the current... the current workforce, Jim Lee, the current head of DC Comics, I forget her name, And also, as much as DC Comics is tied to David Zaslav and Warner Brothers, it's very clear that DC Comics is not being, for right now, genuinely affected by whatever that shit stain has to say. It's very clear that these creators and DC Comics, especially, like, I think the other thing is they're kind of staying away because DC, after how much money Superman made, it's maybe there's kind of a step away there. So yeah. So I'm genuinely, like, right now, and again, 4 or 5 years down the line, DC might do something horrible and do something I might not like, and the creativity might go down because of, like, maybe we lose like Jim Lee or some other creative editors. The editorial staff gets shuttered. That could easily happen. And new people come in. That could be like Zaslav Yes Men. That's a thing that could actually happen. Hell, it happened with it goes a lot at Marvel. I mean, again, I mentioned Mike Perlmutter got ousted, and fat ass Quesada, who every time I see his face, I just want to, like, spit on him. Like, when I was at MegaCon and I heard Joe Quesada was going to be there, I literally wanted to just go up to his booth, and Chris talked me out of it. I literally was going to go up to his booth and spit on him, and then walk away. I wanted to do that so bad because he literally created some of the worst. He had some really piss poor decisions. Now, yes, he did. It's much like Michael Eisner with Disney, where he had a lot of great ideas at the start, and then later Quesada just had some really god-awful ideas at the same time. So yeah, maybe Marvel will change heads, and we'll have better content in the future. And I'm not saying they have bad content right now. And if you like Marvel more than DC right now, that's totally fine. But as it stands right now, I am getting more enjoyment out of the variety and the creativity out of DC Comics. Yeah. And that, again, 5 years, 4 years from now, that could change. I could go right back to saying Marvel's my favorite. It's a shifting love, like I said. But anyway, where do you got? Like I said, if you like Marvel more than DC right now, that's totally fine. But personally, where I stand right now in this present time, as of this recording, it's DC. But you guys tell me in the comments below, where do you guys stand on Marvel and DC right now? Do you have is it permanently DC, or is it permanently Marvel? Or is it like me in a shifting love and you're just kind of like shifting towards one or the other right now in terms of content? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.